So, ito po ang aking exam sa genetic. Number 1 questions. Enumerate the modes of genes actions and determine the phenotype and genotype of the progenies produce each mode. There are 4 modes of genes actions including additive, complete dominant, epistatic, and incomplete dominant. Additive. Both also alleles equally and unidirectionally contributes to the generations of the traits when neither is dominant. And between the two homozygous phenotypes and heterozygous phenotype is in the middle. Epistatic interactions. The generations of phenotype is controlled by epistatic gene interactions where particularly arranged of alleles from various genes are required. Epistasis is the process by which alleles from two or more loci interact to create phenotype that neither genes alone would be able to create. Complete dominant. There are only 2 phenotypes when full dominance is the manner of the gene's activity, and 3 phenotypes because in the heterozygous 2 different types of allele for a single traits conditions. The expressions of the recessive allele is hidden by the presence of the dominant phenotype. Incomplete dominant. When the dominant allele manifests itself, more dominance takes on another form, stronger than the recessive allele, but not sufficiently strong to match the homozygous dominant phenotype in the heterozygous states. We refer to this kind of dominance as incomplete dominance. 3 genotypes and 3 phenotypes are produced by genes with this method's actions. Number 2 questions. Differentiates dominance from recessive genes. Dominance refers to the relationship between 2 versions of genes. If one dominant at the another one must not dominant, in that case we call it recessive. A dominant genes or a dominant versions of genes. It is a particular variant of the genes which, for variety of reasons, expresses itself more strongly all by itself than another versions of all genes which the persons carrying, and in this case the recessive now is usually refers to the inheritance patterns frequently used in conjunctions with a Punnett square where if an individual has 2 versions of genes and one is observed to frequently to be transferred from one generation to another, then it is called dominant. Biochemical, what is going on in case of the genetic variations for a variety of reasons can either induce a functions in cells which is either very advantageous or very detrimental, which is also versions of the genes can cover up or compensate for. In that case, you are going to the dominant mutations, and the dominant mutations can be benign. It can refer to eye color to one sort or another that can be dominant mutations, or can be referred to disease. Huntington disease, for instance, is a dominant mutations where if one is carrying that version's Huntington genes, the dominant mutations will give the individual disease regardless of what that person's or other Huntington disease genes allele. That other Huntington disease genes allele can be perfectly normal but not person's still disease because that one copy of Huntington disease genes is that mutated. Number 3 questions. A dominant G allele is in common carp produce normal pigmentations, and the recessive allele produce gold pigmentations. Across between normally pigmented gold common carp produce a normal progenies. A. What are the genotypes of the parents? Here are the questions. GG. Normally pigmented G Pasenomic pigmented GG golden. B. What are the genotype of the progenies? So here are the examples. Here are the the answers. Female and gametes. Female gametes. GG, small GG, GG and G. What numbers? Letter C. What genotype should be mated to produce an old gold phenotype? It is the GG genotype to produce old gold pigmentations. Number 4 questions. Based on the theory discussions I discussed on the hybrid cross. List all list all the gametes produced by the hybrid cross of the two homogeneous gray guppies with curved spines. Gametes for G and CU. Letter B. Draw the Punnett square and determine the genotype and phenotypic ratios are expected from the across. Male gametes GCU and GCU. Female gametes GCU, GG, CU, CU, GG and CU. Grow with the curved spines and gray with curves. GCU and GGCU, GG and CU. In the female, gray with curved spines, and females gray with curved spines. Based on the given examples on X-linked genes, how are transparent tailed guppies produced? A transparent female guppies can be produced if the male is transparent and the female has at least HEH allele on the transparent tailed male guppies has the recessive XEH allele produced only when female. Letter B. Prove your answer. So, ito na yung male and female gametes. XEH and Y. XEH sa may female gametes transparent tailed pendle, while male naman is transparent tailed male. Sa may caudalis female naman and sa may male caudalis male. Letter C. Draw a Punnett square and determine the phenotypic and genotypic ratios on the progenies of the cross between the mating of a heterogeneous caudalis female and transparent tailed male. So ito na nga yun sa may XEH tas XEH and Y. Sa may male gametes naman is caudalis male. Sa female gametes naman is caudalis female. Sa female naman is transparent tailed female. While sa male gametes naman is transparent tailed female din. Aras din lang siya magkaiba. 6. Determine the factors that causes variations among organisms. Mutations, the changes in the sequence of the genes in DNA are one source of the genetic variations. Another source is genes flow, or the movement of the genes between different groups of organisms. Finally, genetic variations can be result on sexual reproduction, which lead the creations of a new combinations of genes. Number 7. Understand and apply the concept in selections of fish stocks management. A stock assessment is the process of collecting, analyzing, and reporting demographic information to determine changes in the abundance of fishery stocks in response to fishing and to the extent possible predict future trends of stocks abundance. So the purpose of the stocks assessment is to provide information to fisheries managers that will allow them to control catch of each species or species complex or the effort directed. so that ideally populations can be mainly reproduce MSY or LTPY for each species. Fisheries management aims to achieve the optimal and sustainable utilizations of the fisheries resources for the benefit of the humankind whilst safeguarding the ecosystem. Modern fisheries management is the based on scientific information that is used to develop rules under which the fisheries operate. Number 8 questions. What is genetic drift and how it can be prevented? The regular replacements of foundation animal found genetically fixed embryos is the only way to effectively slow down genetic drift and prevent genetic changes from accumulating. Thank you. Yun lang po, sir. Thank you.